Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? You guys doing good too? I'm doing good too. Let's get today's video session. Here we go. Nvidia, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. Which one should you want? Woo! Yeah! I love Moroccan music as always. Welcome back on our video session. Today, concept is really serious. Very serious indeed. Nvidia, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. Who is a big joke in the video gaming scene? In my previous video, right, we were talking about Intel UHD Graphics 620 and Fujitsu Stylistic R727 tablet. Because in this tablet, right, we've got that GPU in this system, which is an integrated one. If you look at that system properly while I was explaining, it is one of the most demanding high performance device. It 100% is, where you can enjoy just a slate or you can attach it to the keyboard and use it like a laptop PC. And top of that, a lot of stuff we'll explain about. You could do amazing gaming on this device using the Intel UHD Graphics 620. And it is a really impressive device. You won't get anything like that where you got a screen, laptop, even comes off, connects to a monitor and television. It does a lot, man. It's one of the most dynamic systems you'll ever buy, ever. Obviously, it's for home, work, office, business as well, on top of the other stuff I've been expanding on that. So anyway, let's carry on today's session and let's see what we make out of it. We know that Sony and Microsoft is going towards 8K. Is the 8K a lot of nonsense? They also are talking about teraflops. People were so excited when they heard that Microsoft Xbox Series X has more teraflops than Sony PS5. Doesn't matter if it's got more teraflops. Is Microsoft just trying to make a fool out or something? Or you guys out there don't understand what is a heck a teraflop? Do you guys even know what a teraflop is and what it does? Because I find this really funny. How long has the IT industry and even the education sector been there for? A very long time. How come people don't know what a teraflop is? It's very funny. They keep on examining things, finding out that the Nvidia is only one teraflops, then they've got Nintendo in there as well. Fujitsu always makes very high performance systems. People who just want 720p HT and 1080p HT, Fujitsu Stylistic R727 tablet will really, oh man. It's not just playing games, I think, as I said. You could do more than that. So, Nvidia RTX. Okay? Which one am I talking about here first? 2080. I'm not going to tell you the version which one 2080 actually has. But if you look, one of the best RTX 2080 ones. Do you know how much teraflops that got? I don't know what Microsoft's on about. Don't know why it's so jumpy. You gotta think the Nvidia RTX 2080. It's an old one, which uses 4K. One of the one of the most advanced Nvidia RTX 2080 uses 14.2 teraflops. Whoa, check it out. It uses that much. Okay? If you look at this GPU, it blows away Sony PS4 and Microsoft Xbox One. These systems cannot touch this GPU. Not a chance. This GPU had everything what you wanted. 4K resolution, ray tracing. You had it all. If you look at all games console, I am not kidding you, is the highest teraflop than all games consoles. Wow, what Sony Microsoft got to say about that? Don't worry, you'll get a list of all teraflops that each system has. I'm not going to go through this PS4 and Xbox One. They are on date now. Nobody cares about them. If you look at Nintendo hardware is not strong as PS4 and Xbox One. What happened? It defeated it. It's beaten it by miles when it comes by sales. Does it really matter about the hardware? Does it? Well, it doesn't, does it? Continuously for 2 years, Nintendo Switch has been beating these Sony and Microsoft systems called the PS4 and Xbox One. Has anybody even got an answer to that? It's a bit strange, isn't it? How Nintendo's pulling this off. With Nintendo, right, since Nintendo Wii, it had family games, didn't it? Your families were getting together, where they're standing next to a TV and they're enjoying with these nunchuck, yes, remote and nunchuck. It was an incredible experience. And Nintendo Wii did really well. What happened then as well? Sony PS3 and Microsoft Xbox 360 got beaten by the Nintendo Wii as well. Family bundles, family games, whatever you want to call it. Exercise, music, dance games on the mats and all that. And then Bluetooth technology. Yeah, this thing took it by storm. Everybody enjoyed it. Did anybody care about the graphics? But some of the graphics on the Nintendo Wii looked lots better than Sony PS3 and Xbox 360. No joke. They were a lot better. And the games played truly amazing. Especially the games coming from Nintendo anyway. And other developer games were quite good as well. Which they were using the remote. And they were really exciting to play. I used to enjoy them quite a lot. And now if you look at it again, Nintendo Switch beats the Sony PS4 and Microsoft Xbox One. It's the same thing again. Nintendo exclusives family games. They are doing the rounds again. They beated the Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox One. It happened again. Second time. Nintendo knows how to play the game properly. Because Nintendo's new ideas are even better than this. This is really new, man. And I really like that with the Nintendo company. The company goes that people who don't like games. Ooh, but is a Nintendo Switch a games console? They got people who don't like playing games. And they're not interested in them. Nintendo will be releasing software titles which are not games. They will bring out these stuff on Nintendo Switch, right? Give them to them customers special kind of titles which are not games, which they will give them to them, and that market will be different. Obviously, it's all under Nintendo Switch. The market is the same. When I mean marketing, different thing to games. I've never heard a games console company saying that people who don't like games will give them kind of titles. Nintendo Switch will do that. That is something really, really big. I wonder what it is. But whatever it is, they're not games. I found that really interesting. You probably even heard that Nintendo Switch beat the Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X, where Sony and Microsoft were making things up saying stock shortage. How truthfully is that? If there really was stock shortage in the times of November, December, that's what these two companies said. If there was stock shortage, then why weren't the Sony Microsoft saying a word about it? Something's going on. They didn't say a word about it. If Sony Microsoft is telling the truth about stock shortage, why didn't you say anything about it? They didn't mention anything about it. No, they didn't say why the Nintendo Switch actually beat us in terms of sales. They've got no answer. They're making stuff up because they can't take it, because it got lost by a company called Nintendo. I can't be surprised. Was there stock shortage when Sony PS1, Microsoft Xbox was there? No, there wasn't. Now you can tell how these companies are lying. They're making stuff up. Because when a company doesn't know what to say, they make stuff up like that. He beaten them twice. Okay? Twice, man. Twice. Okay. That's that part, okay? For Nintendo. Now let's go further. We gotta understand one thing. Okay? Let's just quickly go into teraflops first. Nvidia RTX 2080, 14.2 teraflops. By the way, it's the most advanced RTX 2080. I'm talking about that one. Nvidia RTX 3090, 36 teraflops. Ooh, okay. Sony PS5. Okay. GPU. Check this out. What's in this system? AMD Radeon RDNA 2, 2.23 GHz, 10.3 teraflops. Whoa. It's only 10.3 teraflops. But look at the Nvidia RTX 2080 and 3090. One of them is 14.2, the other one's 36 teraflops. How does it even compare to any of them? None of them. Microsoft Xbox Series X. Who claims that he's got more teraflops than Sony PS5? You might have more teraflops than that, but do you have more teraflops than Nvidia? Check this GPU. What's this at? Same one again. AMD RDNA 2 1.825 GHz. 12 teraflops. More than Sony PS5. But that teraflops, the Nvidia RTX 2080, that's got 14.2. It's not even capable of being the old one. Both of these games console are a flipping joke when it comes to teraflops. Okay, now let's go a bit further about teraflops. What actually is a teraflop? Having more teraflops, yeah? It doesn't mean, the graphics will look twice as good. Alright? You gotta think that. It just gives you a maximum performance. Okay? And also, right, having more teraflop, right, doesn't mean it's twice as fast either. Now, the CPU and read-write performance of the SSD, having more teraflops, right, for the developer, they can put more work into it. If you got more teraflops, can be done. That's all it is, really. I mean, does teraflop really matter? It won't give you any better graphics, okay? And it wouldn't be twice as fast. It doesn't give you any of that. If you guys out there don't know that, it doesn't do any of that. Okay? Teraflops is just, you can put more work into it. That's all it is. I mean, the developers can have more work into it because the CPU rewrite performance, that's where it shines, really. I mean, because that's what Sony was on about. He was on about his fast SSD. Do you remember when the Sony PS5 wasn't out? Mark Cerny was talking about stuff like that. More than its teraflops. He was right. The company was right. What Mark Cerny was talking about, a SSD is more important than teraflops. A teraflop doesn't do much of the things that you're thinking of. Graphics and fast speeds. It doesn't do any of that. It's only for, the polygons, the rendering. It just does that, faster speed. It doesn't do anything else. Now, understand clearly. Do you really think you should bother with a Microsoft Xbox Series X 12 teraflops? I think you shouldn't. In a way, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, doesn't know what he's on about. It doesn't do much. Alright? In a way, I do support Sony PS5 what Mark Cerny was talking about his fast SSDs. The CPU, obviously, the both systems got good CPUs anyway. But Mark Cerny has advantage of the Xbox Series X, where he's got better SSDs. You really need that more than the teraflops, because as your SSD is fast, your gaming performance as the screens are moving from one screen to another, you don't get any loading times. This is much important. I know everything's been told about Marx and all this stuff. I don't need to repeat myself. He was right on that. Now, the big thing is 4K better or 8K better? In terms of PC technology, we only have 4K monitors, don't we? So having an Nvidia RTX 2080 is pretty good. And he's right. So what's the advantage having an Nvidia RTX 3090, which gives you 36 teraflops? As I cleared, teraflops is not important. Is the RTX 2080 better? Or the RTX 3090? Let's get something clear here. 4K right now is the right technology. 8K isn't. How many games, if you look at Nvidia RTX 3090, okay, are even on 5K? Probably none of them. There's probably hardly any of them on 5K. They're probably producing one or two. But talking about 8K here, man. Which, in terms of PC monitors, they aren't any 8K monitors. It's pointless. It's pointless on PC technology to go on 8K. You can buy if you want, but you won't get it because 8K isn't available in monitors and 8K isn't available in gaming. Not in PC, isn't. We are just working towards 5K. In a real sense, you are wasting your money on an Nvidia RTX 3090. It's waste of money, I would say. The Nvidia RTX 2080 is better because every single majority of game is in 4K. And the technology is correct. There's no point upgrading from Nvidia RTX 2080 to Nvidia RTX 3090. I want to say it's a good deal. Stay on the Nvidia RTX 2080 is a much better choice rather than wasting a lot of money on the Nvidia RTX 3090. What about the Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X? What are they babbling about then? They're saying their systems are on 8K resolution. It's a lot of nonsense. What about the 8K? How many games on Sony PS5 are even on 5K? And Microsoft Xbox Series X, same with that. They hardly haven't got any 5K games. I did hear one. They were showing some demos on both these platforms. That's only a 5K, man. Just a 5K and nothing else. I find that really disappointing. Because these companies are pushing the customers. This is an 8K system. 8K! 8K resolution! It's phenomenal! Blah de blah. Really powerful. Rubbish. Teraflops and 8K resolution. Don't fall for them. Alright. A teraflop doesn't do much for your gaming. Alright. And a 8K is not available in Nvidia, Sony, Microsoft. So what's available for Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X? Televisions. Yes, 8K televisions are available. Yeah, but what are you going to do with 8K TV? They're really expensive and you can't do 8K gaming on them because 8K gaming technology is not available right now. I fail to understand from these companies. They brought out the systems, but you can't do 8K gaming on them. Another thing that Platinum Games was saying, they were right as well. Platinum Games are people who bought you Bayonetta, Nier Automata, Melody Rising, Vanquish. Okay, they made games like that. And of course, amazing Nintendo Wii U game, Star Fox Zero. That was made by Platinum Games. That is one of the most amazing games that Platinum Games ever made. And the Nintendo Wii U as well, where Nintendo Wii wasn't successful. I hope they made that on the Nintendo Switch. Remake the game and make it better on the Switch. But it was already good anyway. Platinum Games said that if you look at Sony PS4 and Microsoft Xbox One X, they said that it's not a huge upgrade to Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X. It's not a huge deal. You ain't gonna see amazing graphics. Do you understand what they want about? They have made a hardware. It might be good on paper, but when we look on the screen, you hardly can't see any difference. Yeah, there's no difference. You won't see much of amazing graphics. It's not great upgrade. I'll tell you straight right now. It's really true. It isn't. Sony PS4 to Sony PS5 is not a great. It's not an amazing upgrade. And from Microsoft Xbox X to Microsoft Xbox Series X is not a good upgrade either. They have put higher teraflop GPUs and giving you 8K resolution. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, man. What they're doing. I can't believe this time the technology didn't expand so well. And it's not amazing. If you look at Sony PS4, that wasn't even a native 4K resolution. It wasn't. The Microsoft Xbox X, that was a 4K resolution system. But the problem with them systems were, obviously Sony had better exclusives and Microsoft, even having a 4K resolution, didn't have amazing exclusives and it didn't win the competition. And instead, Nintendo just walks over both of the systems. Check that out. Doesn't need any 4K resolution, does it? 720p HD on screen, 1080p HD on TV. It's a hybrid system. And it just walks over them. I gotta clear something. If you can't get 8K resolution, do not upgrade from Nvidia RTX 2080 to RTX 3090. Do not upgrade from Sony PS4 to Sony PS5. Do not upgrade from Microsoft Xbox X to Xbox Series X. If you're really into 8K resolution, you ain't gonna get it. From Nvidia, Sony, Microsoft, you won't get any of it. So in a way, Nintendo's right for winning the competition over Sony and Microsoft. Nintendo Switch sales beat Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X. Well, Nintendo Switch can't do 8K either. And nor can the PS5 and Xbox Series X. That's just for future. But they don't have it right now, do they? What's the point buying them kind of systems? A teraflop is not much of a useful, and there's no 8K resolution in Sony Microsoft systems. I don't find them good purchases. Not at all. But the Nintendo Switch, right, is the system to own. Because whatever Nintendo's telling you, he didn't mention anything about 4K, 8K, did only system. He didn't. Whatever is in that system, that's what you get. It looks the most sensible system for a games console. Handheld, tabletop, and TV. It has it all. It seems Nintendo Switch right now is the best purchase for a games console. And it makes a lot of sense. So what it is. I think probably a lot of people probably know. Maybe few people know that the Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X, the teraflop and the 8K resolution isn't useful. I wouldn't fall for that teraflops, okay? I wouldn't fall for that. Don't fall for that crap. You're not going to get 8K resolution either, right now. Yeah, the GPU are sophisticated to 8K resolutions. Nobody even knows if the 8K resolutions are good on these systems. We haven't seen anything on these systems at 8K. Or they're just showing some few demos in 5K. But them games aren't even released. In a real sense. So I would say, in terms of Nvidia RTX 2080 is the best GPU. And for modern day games console for today, right in the present we're in, Nintendo Switch is the best games console to own. Definitely is. At least what everything is in Nintendo Switch is correct. And whatever in the Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X, yeah, they talk about 8K, but you ain't gonna get it for a few years. No. Then what's the point buying a system which they say is a 8K, but you can't even get it right now? So they are waste of money. If we can't even get that, we go and buy 8K TV. What is the point of that? You're stuck back on 4K again. Do you understand what I'm saying here? You'll be back on 4K. You won't get 5K, 6K, 7K, 8K. Forget about 8K. That's too far. just give us that 5K yet, man. I'll tell you that straight. You ain't gonna get that. They're gonna start in the 5K yet. You ain't gonna get that soon either. They need to work on that, and then you're gonna get 5K. So I really think so. Two of the systems that you will think of: Nvidia RTX 2080 and Nintendo Switch. Do we have any amazing thing to do with Nvidia RTX 2080? Yes. I should have mentioned this in the start, but I'm gonna mention it right now. Fujitsu ES Primo D958 E94 Plus Intel i7 Core Mini PC. These systems are really technically superior you will ever buy, made by Fujitsu. These systems, right, are a small form factor, but they are big in power. What these systems do, right, obviously they're small. You can't use standard size GPUs in there. You can't use the Nvidia RTX 2080 in it. Okay, you can't use the standard size, desktop size one. You can't put them in there. What happened here? Fujitsu manufactured a GPU called Fujitsu Nvidia RTX 2080 Mini GPU, specially designed for Fujitsu ES Primo D958 Mini PC. Alright? Once you get that, you'll get high-end 4K gaming out of it. As I already said, right now, 4K is the thing. Okay? Now, we get to select two systems in 4K. You need to stay on 4K, man. If you want a really advanced graphics, stay on 4K. Do not go beyond that level. There is no point going further than that. With the Fujitsu ES Primo D958 Mini PC, you can put the Fujitsu Nvidia RTX 2080 Mini GPU in there. Because when you buy the system, you get an integrated Intel UHD Graphics 630 in there. You'll get that in when you buy the system. But you need to buy this mini GPU in order to get that. These systems are really impressive, okay? They're not just for gaming. They're more than that. Graphic designers use them. When the graphic designers feel that Intel UHD Graphics 630 is not enough, Fujitsu gives you an option where you can use the Fujitsu Nvidia RTX 2080 Mini GPU in there to make it really powerful for graphics. That's where it kicks off. I will recommend two systems, and I wouldn't recommend any system right now. Get yourself a Fujitsu ES Primo D958 E94 Plus Intel i7 Core Mini PC and Nintendo Switch. These are the two powerhouses to reckon with. And these two systems sell really well. You know that. Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X is a complete joke anyway. Then I've been doing well in sales. So what's the point even taking interest in that? They just pull out struggle, I'm telling you. Sony Microsoft is just pushing their boundaries to make you buy their systems. Beware what they are saying. Everything you see on it, it doesn't look much promising. They're gonna try to sell you the system with exclusives. Their teraflops and 8K resolutions. Don't get into that mess. Don't bother. You get yourself a Fujitsu mini PC and Nintendo Switch. It's the best way to go. These two systems, right, are the best to own right now. I'm being serious. You won't have any problems with these systems. Because if you buy Fujitsu mini PC and Nintendo Switch, right, both of these systems can be joined on the monitor, and we should say that both of these can be joined on your 4K monitor and your 4K TVs. Perfect. Perfect. Both sides. Perfect, man. You get a really advanced powerhouse from Fujitsu Technologies and Nintendo exclusives powerhouse. Yeah. I would seriously would buy both of them. Right now, Sony and Microsoft, don't bother with them. They don't cut the mustard right now. So I hope this video has give you lots of information. What things you need to understand for before purchasing a system. Watching my video today has explained quite a lot. What should your next purchase be? Rather than believing too much in Sony Microsoft systems, that's what lots of people are doing. Don't get too much into that because they're not even great upgrades from Sony PS4 and Microsoft Xbox X. They're not. So why do people just buy them straight away? Concentrate from here. Think before you're buying something. Don't just buy it because it's tagged with Sony and Microsoft name on it. Don't do things like that. Only silly people do things like that. Your next purchase should be your next purchase should be Fujitsu mini PC and Nintendo Switch. One of the most amazing systems for your gaming. Obviously, the Fujitsu one is going to be more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. If you feel you like both, you can go buy both of them. But in a way, Fujitsu will give you high-end 4K resolution, ray tracing, real ray tracing, game streaming, GeForce Now, Steam for your PC games, and PC emulation. Is technically very superior for all of these services I just mentioned. And Nintendo Switch will give you family and Nintendo exclusive games for Nintendo parents. So I hope you guys like my video today. It's been depth knowledge and give you a lot of knowledge that what kind of systems you should buy right now in 2021. Give a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.